Hello and welcome once again to the podcast. Another Sunday podcast, first Sunday of the month, and I really hope you guys being good. And today I want to I'm going to actually give you 5 ways to regain your strength after months of consistent workouts and training. So there's 5 ways of regaining your strength after consistent training and exercises, because as we know, we tend to lose a lot of energy and get fatigued as we train consistently. Our bodies need to recoup, we need to recover, and I'm going to give you 5 ways to do this, to recover from all that training. At times it may be overtraining, at times you just need to recover and rest, because this is very important. Because we should remember, as much as we work out, and especially if we're trying to create muscles, right? When we're working out and training, trying to create muscles really are not created in the gym or in your workouts. What you do when you're training, least we forget, is that we actually tear the muscles, we tear our tissues, so that when we rest, that's when we repair them, and as they repair, they enlarge. That's how hypertrophy works. You tear your tissues down, your tissues and your muscles down, so that when they grow again, as you recover, and you are recouping your energy and your body is recovering. So number one of the most important things is to obviously prioritize your rest. And of course, rest period is very important. You should have time where you rest, and as mentioned, this is when exactly you are going to create, or when your body is going to repair those muscles and actually make you much more stronger and bigger, because as you rest, this is when your body has time to recoup and create those muscles and do what's supposed to do during rest, right? And also, obviously, this is how your muscles adapt, and you're able to recover, and then you stimulate those muscles even more when you rest. So when you come back, you're fresh and you're able to continue with your training. So that was number 1, and that is to prioritize rest. Make sure you are getting adequate rest. And as per usual, rest depends on the person and the type of training you are embarking on. Not all people will need plenty of rest. Recovery time periods are different, so you should know how and when to rest, and how much period you need to rest. And number 2, it's another obvious one, very important, and that's nutrition. Nutrition is an obvious one. You cannot skip that one. You need good nutrition, especially if you are determined to create muscles, to make muscles. Nutrients are very important, which means that you have to be hitting those proteins, enough proteins. Obviously, the diet itself should be balanced, not just protein, also your carbs, your carbohydrates should also be part of the diet. This will help in energy. You still need energy. You need energy when creating those, or recovery, and using your body your body needs that energy to actually recover and create recover those tissues that need repairing. So that energy is needed through the carbohydrates. So don't just have just one sort of intake, and that's protein. It's very important to intake protein. However, you still need other sources of energy, such as your carbohydrates, as mentioned. So your diet is just as important as anything else, and during your recovery and recouping. So that was number 2. Number 3 is hydration. You need to be hydrated. As you know, as we consume or as we work out, we obviously use up a lot of fluids, and we need that. We need to recoup that water that we usually use up through dehydration. So we have to hydrate, so that this will obviously help during recovery, so that it helps in circulation and all that. However, one thing about hydration I should warn is that not everyone needs the same amount of water, right? Because actually, when you're hydrating, it's not just about hot water. You don't just need water alone. We tend to consume a lot of fluid in our daily lives. The juice, the coffee, the tea, that's all fluid, and you're basically hydrating when you drink this. So hydrating basically is not just about the water that we drink. That's why we have to be very careful when drinking plenty amount of water, because we tend to also wash away the nutrients that we need also. So not everyone will need 1 liter, 2 liters of water. Just know that you may need a sufficient amount of water, but when recovering, I would actually advise that during recovery we drink less water than actually when doing our workouts, because when we're actually working out, that's when we lose the most. It's the period where we hydrate the most, basically. And then we hydrate less when recovering, because we're not really doing as much vigorous exercises as we do. So it means that what we should be doing is hydrating more during exercising period, the period we're exercising or the time we're exercising, then hydrate less during recovery. So you can keep that balance of your nutrients, right? A moderate amount of hydration. Number 4 would be active recovery, right? Active recovery means that we are doing exercises that are less intense than the usual exercises that we usually do in our usual training. People may do stretches, we may do yoga, just low intensity stuff, basically. Just walk. If you usually run, this time you walk. If you are strength training and you lift heavy weights, you're going to lift very, very light and less frequently, and obviously less volume. This is to just keep the body active while recovering, and circulation also helps in circulation, so that the blood continue working and circulating as you rest, because as we know, once we come out from heavy training, then our body starts getting much more it gets less and less active, and then our circulation kind of does slow down. So active recovery is something that I incorporate myself, because I tend to really become a bit lazy. It also helps in that, when you're resting, as you said, that it helps in creating those muscles, but then you become lazy, and then getting back into your usual training becomes a bit of a challenge. But once you're doing less intense stuff, you're doing stuff that is less does have less impact to the body, but it's very much good for the body at that moment. You're continuing on at least doing something, but less intense, so that you do not interfere with the recovery and your muscle creation and all that. So active recovery is all about doing less and doing less intense stuff that will keep the body still active. And number 5, last but not least, is to have a structured periodic training plan. Having a plan, so once you get back into your usual or your main training, right, after a period of recovery and rest, have a structured training. Most people just go into the gym or start training even at home. They just do whatever training they watch on YouTube, not knowing that certain exercises are for certain sort of muscles, or not knowing that how to work, what sort of what's the best exercises and training are best for what body parts, right? And I should remember that not everyone can actually afford having a trainer, and in fact not all trainers are actually good trainers, right? I myself not a trainer, but I've done enough research on this, and a lot of it has worked for me. And having a structured periodic training plan, right, with varying intensity, because you still need to know how to create those muscles. Not enough just doing the workout. That might work for the first few months, for the first year, but you may hit a plateau, and that's the problem right there. Many people hit a plateau and do not know why they're not gaining any more muscles, or why they're not progressing. And this is why a structured training regime is very important, because you can now know what are the things to add, especially when it comes to intensity and volume, right? How much of the sets you need to add, or maybe you need to deload, or how much volume will determine your strength, So all this is very important, whether you're creating muscles or you just want to strengthen your body. All that is can be actually be confined within a structured training regime. Knowing how to create your own regime means that you have to do the research, know what kind of exercises you want to embark on, the push-pull, or you just want to do the body parts, just hitting your compounds, or are you going to be doing just nothing but compound, or are you going to only be doing cardio? All that needs planning and structure. Once you start measuring this, another advantage of having a structured plan is that once you start, you can measure all this, and once you start measuring, you can even know where you are plateauing. You know where what you need to add, what you need to subtract, and it also helps to be consistent, because you know that exactly what you know exactly what you're going to do next, even if it's the same training. You know where to add, what to add. You're not just doing things vagrantly, or just doing various exercises without an actual plan. So at the end of the day, this also helps you be consistent. A plan also helps you be consistent. Also, you do not lose momentum, because you're you know where to add, what to add, what to subtract, what to take away. You're not losing momentum at the end of the day, and it's very important not to lose momentum or motivation, right? Especially after coming from recouping or recovering or a long rest period. And that was number 5, and hoping all that was very much understood. And till next time, take care of your mind, take care of your body. Do not ever neglect any of this, and peace to the gods.